Hi, Crusaders. It's Emily from Career Services, and I am here today with Angel Brown from the Human Resources Department here at UMHB. We're so excited to have her to talk a little bit more about video interviews today. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I just wanted to start off and ask, why are employers using video interviews?
Emily, I think right now in today's climate with everything that's going on, the obvious reason that more and more employers at this moment are going to video interviews is just because of social distancing. So we're seeing that more and more. Before the pandemic though, employers were going to video interviews just because it's an initial, very fast, efficient way to connect with applicants. A lot of employers will use the video interview as a stand-in between, your resume submission and an in-person interview. So you'll see more and more employers going to that. And I think during this time, as employers are using that as a tool, they'll definitely use it even after we're through this situation.
So if I am doing my very first video interview, what would be the biggest difference between a video interview and an in-person interview?
I think personal interaction is a big one. I think just as human beings, we have the need to connect with one another. If you think about it, when you first meet someone, you shake their hand. And so from there, that starts your personal interaction. So I think that's a big one. A lot of times we tend to read one another's body language as just a signal on how to respond to one another. So I think that personal interaction is, in my opinion, is the biggest difference.
So how would I make a really good impression visually in a video interview? I know there's very different things to think about.
Yeah. So you got to think about it. First and foremost, I'd say practice, just like with any other interview. And so you want to think about finding a quiet space where you are free from interruptions. You want to also make sure that the lighting is good in your space. You want to make sure that the clothing that you're wearing, the colors and what you have on is a reflection and it looks good on the webcam. A couple of technical things, you want to make sure your webcam is up and working and running. Your audio, a lot of times I see people interview remotely with headphones or earbuds. It's quite distracting. And so unless there's just a technical reason that you can't use a wireless audio, I really suggest using that wireless audio. And so, yeah, I would also suggest not multitasking. It's real easy to do that while you're on the video interview, but your interviewer would notice that you're not giving that person your full attention.
I know you said that the personal interaction is kind of something that you miss with video interviews. What's the best way to make a more personal connection over that video interview?
Yeah, so I think one of the ways is try to make eye contact if you can. A lot of times you can adjust your laptop or your screen or even your webcam so that your camera is right below the interviewer's eyes and so that it's right below your eyes. And so a lot of times I hear people say, just focus on the bridge of a person's nose because you don't want to stare them down, but at the same time you want to make really good eye contact. So I think that's first and foremost one thing that you can do. The other thing is just kind of be yourself and interact with your interviewer. Research that interviewer before you go to that interview, before you conduct that interview. Know who you're interviewing with and just mention a couple of things you might have in common with that person. It's important to research the company too, and the job and what the expectations are so that you can speak to that from a personal level.
Okay, well, I think my last question for you would just be, are there any other tips or tricks that you can think of that would make for a really successful video interview?
Yeah. I think you should prepare for a video interview just as you would for an in-person interview. And so I would say dress for success. Definitely don't neglect the waist down portion. I know a lot of people, it's tempting to just dress up from waist up, but it'll make you feel better and more prepared if you dress, the entire thing, head to toe, shoes included. I think it just makes you feel just, a lot more prepared. Same kind of tips I would give for an in-person interview. So research the company, research the position, make sure you know the company's mission statement. What's their vision? What do they look to? What are they looking for in this position? And so a lot of those things just kind of go with interviewing overall.
And always have a couple questions prepared, I think, to ask.
I think so, yeah, shows your interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for talking a little bit about video interviews today. I know any interview can be kind of nerve-wracking. Sometimes practicing really helps. So if you're needing a mock interview or any other interview tips, Career Services has tons of resources. We can even practice a video interview with you. So if you're needing any of those, or if you have a video interview coming up and you need to use one of our quiet interview rooms, we have a lot of resources available for you. So thank you so much again today, Angel, for being with me.
My pleasure.
And thank you all.